Evening, a warm welcome as always to the Vanarama National League highlights. All the goals and stories from the day's games in the company of Mr. Hargreaves, of course. And we'll certainly have the story of the game here as Torquay travelled the huge distance up to Hartlepool on the northeast coast. But we'll start our first roundup with Richard Henwood's explanation of a shock at Stockport.
Weymouth travelled to Edgeley Park in search of a first away win of the season, a tall order against opponents who've yet to lose at home. And sure enough, Stockport led from the 15th minute. Ash Palmer marking his 100th appearance with a goal as he found space at the far post to head in John Rooney's corner. But despite the underdog tag, Weymouth manager Brian Stock insisted his side wouldn't be mere bystanders, and they shocked their host by equalising early in the second half. Calvin Brooks with a drilled finish. And a perfect Halloween performance from the Terrors was complete 5 minutes from time. Stockport goalkeeper Ben Hinchliffe did his best to preserve his side's point, but Tom Whelan was in the right place to make it Stockport 1, Weymouth 2.
Today was a bit of a wake-up call really for us to, that we can't get the lead and ease off. We can't work outside of our maximum and expect to beat anybody.
Kings Lynn are having to learn quickly about the challenges posed by life at National League level, but their search for a first win in 5 got off to a good start as Adam Marriott hooked in the opening goal with just under half an hour played. But they've been struggling to keep out the opposition and their lead soon disappeared. Goalkeeper Archie Mayer raced out to clear a cross but was beaten to the ball by the head of Kane Ferdinand. And by half-time the away side were ahead. Josh Davison was scoring for Charlton against West Brom in the Championship earlier this year. This was a good way to begin life on loan at Woking. It was the 19th league goal Lynn had conceded so far this season, and the game seemed to be slipping away until the final 10 minutes, and a comeback courtesy of an inspired substitution. Jamal Loza off the bench first to equalise against a club he played for in 2 loan spells, and then from an almost identical position to fire home the winner. It all added up to a first home victory for Kings Lynn. After a fast start to the season, Eastleigh have stalled a little recently, but Hayes Lane was a good place to go in search of their first win in 4. They've not lost in the last 14 meetings with Bromley, and they continued that run thanks to the goal-scoring instincts of Ben House. He's a player who's specialising in second-half goals this season. 2 more this afternoon took his total to 5 in 5 games. Bromley beaten, but they did pull a goal back thanks to a player who had a loan spell at Eastleigh at the end of last season. James Allaby making the final score, Bromley 1, Eastleigh 2. Two of the National League's form sides met at York Road, and Solihull's bid to make it 5 games unbeaten was boosted early in the second half. A penalty awarded for a foul on Cameron Cox and scored by Stephen Gleeson. But after losing their first 3 games this season, Maidenhead have hit form, winning 3 in a row, and their confidence is clearly sky high. That's certainly the case for Sam Barrett, who provided the equaliser with an excellent finish. And the action was far from over. 8 minutes from time, a penalty to Maidenhead given for handball. And Barrett was the obvious candidate to take the spot kick. So Maidenhead on course for 3 points, but they finished the game with 10 players, as James Comley picked up a second booking. But Solihull failed to make the most of their numerical advantage in the dying minutes. Instead, they conceded another penalty. And Maidenhead's 4th win in 4 was wrapped up by Barrett. He twice claimed 2 goals in a game this season. Now he's gone 1 better.
Yeah, no, really happy. 2 braces, been happy with that. And yeah, to round it off, kind of last kick of the game it was. So yeah, really happy to pick up the match ball.
Well, I'm sure he is happy. Top scorer in the division, couple of pens, 2 braces in a hat-trick. That is excellent work. But let's start perhaps with the shock of Weymouth's win at Stockport. That is some result, Tom Whelan getting the winner.
Yeah, it's a coupon buster, that's for sure. It's, but perhaps not from within. You know, a lot of confidence. They were very successful last season. But for the home side, it's a bad loss, isn't it? You know,
bitter one, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it's one of those games you're expecting to win, and sadly they didn't, not quite capitalising on a good start.
No, yeah, you just wonder, don't you, whether obviously we're going to get strange results. We're having them at all levels of football this season. But Stockport, obviously, like Torquay and others, are seeing a real opportunity this season to shine.
They are.
And that's a missed opportunity.
It is. Sometimes, for whatever reason, playing at home, I mean, there's no fans there, that you can't lift that team at the moment. You just feel a little bit of pressure being in that position. But obviously we've seen today someone's seized upon that opportunity. But the only thing you can do in football is bounce back. So next game for Stockport, vitally get back on winning ways.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity to bounce back quick because the games come
so
quick.
You sure do.
Kings Lynn, they've bounced back from, yes, they had that quite good start first week. We watched them first week. Then they've had a tough time for a few weeks. That's a very important first home win.
Oh, it's a massive win. You know, I think they've said that it's a big test for a club like for a club like they are with such a small budget. But you get wins like that, it galvanises the whole club and the whole team, and you get a serious amount of belief. And we've seen, you know, 2 fantastic performances there and fantastic wins, 3 points, big confidence boosters.
Oh, absolutely. And EASTLEIGH, I mean, Ben House, another player that perhaps has gone a bit under the radar, but again, it's a player that's dealing in double hits.
Really
good for him.
Really good signing. Former Reading under-21 player. Looks confident, looks so assured in front of goal at the moment, making the right runs, making the right decisions. I mean, that's a great finish, taking it back across the keeper to then reverse it. Really good finish, good result. So, you know, everything rosy there at the moment. Yeah,
we mentioned, obviously, we heard from Sam Barrett with the hat-trick for Maidenhead. It's a poor result for Solihull. Obviously, there'll be another team that be expecting to be up there this season.
Yeah, but I don't know, they've had a funny sort of 12 months, haven't they? You know, so close, losing a few players, changes within management, not quite sort of galvanised, have they? But for Maidenhead, I think, first time they've won 4
at this level, on this level. We saw them at Wrexham, and they had a poor start. Got that win at Wrexham, and they've half kicked on.
And great for Sam Barrett to score a hat-trick. He didn't quite work from at Southend, had a bad injury, but so far so good.
Exactly, which is perhaps the epithet for this programme. In the nippy northeast, we'll briefly pause, but we'll be back with the highlights of the game. Here, Torquay making the long trip up to Hartlepool. Gary Johnson and Dave Challoner's teams going head-to-head. And we've got that one for you when we come back. Welcome back to the National League highlights. Myself and Chris Hargreaves here at Hartlepool to see, not that long ago, whether the league leaders Torquay would enjoy the trip home after their game against the side in Dave Challoner's team that were unbeaten thus far in the season. Watching for us, Adam Virgo and Seb Hutchinson.
Driving through the middle. Stover playing the pass, but they weren't quite onto it there, Torquay. It might still work out nicely. Good football from Hartlepool, played in by Ferguson. There's some neat football in the end there from the home side.
That was great awareness there from Ryan Donaldson to get Davis Ferguson in.
Now they're starting to string a few passes together nicely. Torquay on the break and through on goal here. This is a real chance and taken. Torquay strike first. Danny Wright, of course it's Danny Wright. The experienced striker had no problem at all in breaking the deadlock early on.
Look at the run from him. The 2 centre-halves had to play slightly narrower than what they're doing. Johnson gets caught the wrong side, but he still has a lot to do, Danny Wright. Put it onto his left foot. Opens his body up nicely. The composure's there. Great first touch. It's an excellent finish from him. Brilliant, well-taken goal.
And then Evans, who started well. Now Winter. Main. And Winter's found some room, the fullback, and he's done it on brilliant to Wright. Oh, brilliant! Torquay United, what a start! And another fine finish from Danny Wright. Right in form.
Just switch off, it's a little bit slow to react there. Winter makes a really, really good run there of Holohan, and then he has still a lot to do though, Danny Wright. Just slow movement though from Ryan Johnson. No real decision-making from him, though, to go towards the ball or go away from it. Neither was made. That's an excellent finish there from Danny Wright, and full of applause from his manager.
Hartlepool driving forward again. This is a lovely run by Holohan, and it was almost an immediate riposte.
It's a good save there from Lucas, just purely because of the hands and his soft hands as well.
That's not good news for the home side, because Whitfield's in here to make it 3, and he takes the chance. What a first half from Torquay. They've blown Hartlepool away here.
Talking about playing yourself into trouble, square ball across the 18-yard box is always dangerous, and they've been punished for another mistake. Similar situation in the second half against Altrincham, where they had a throw and they gave it away in a silly area and ended up giving away a penalty. And this time they've given away a goal.
And Donaldson, barely heard from him in this game. Here's Molyneux, though. Can't release the pass. Maybe Featherstone can get a shot away. He's good from distance, Featherstone. Might drop to Gray. Little deflection on that. Just wide of the post. Well, they might be in. Evans, he's onside. Whitfield caught cold here again. The back post, hat-trick time, and there it is. Danny Wright, 3 goals for Torquay.
It's such a poor goal to concede, honestly. Long ball there. Lewis Cash just gets caught. Johnson has to open his body out, doesn't even look over his shoulder once. Wright picks up a brilliant, brilliant position. It's a well-deserved hat-trick. But just look at the energy levels of Torquay getting forward there.
Evans, that's a nice corner, good shape, and it's going to be bundled in. Another goal for Torquay. What a display from them, and it's all coming off for Torquay. An evening never to forget.
Well, it's been a 5-star performance from them, and that really just sums up the defensive frailties of Hartlepool this evening. Cameron just getting a free header there. Johnson losing his footing. And then the substitute Warren there just on the line to just pass that ball into the net. But it's been a brilliant, brilliant performance from Gary Johnson's side.
Danny, top of the league and a hat-trick. Can't really get much better for you there, can it?
Nah, that's right. We were hoping for a fast start today. Obviously, it's a long journey for us up here. So we got that out of our minds. We wanted to start sharp. And to say the least, I think we did. And it was great, obviously, to get the 3 goals, but the result is the main thing. And yes, it was a good day for us.
Danny, you're so humble, but we need to focus on the hat-trick a little bit more, because it was the perfect hat-trick. Of the 3 goals, what gave you most satisfaction? Was it the one that got you off the mark, or? Yeah,
I think so. Bursting through there, not a lot of people think I can run through behind the defence like that. But yeah, I was pleased with it to get me off the mark.
Dave, unexpected scoreline's definitely the order of the day. I mean, for starters, the first 15 must have really took you by surprise.
No, not took us by surprise in terms of what we were up against. Took us by surprise in terms of us and what we produced. We were, that's the first 20 minutes. Essentially, was the pattern of the game right from the get-go. We were second to every ball. We were second to second balls. They were on the front foot and seemed like they wanted it more than us. We obviously 2 goals down, you lose a central defender, so it was not ideal. But like I say, I expect more from us. I'll worry about us. Listen, they're a good side, but even they're a good side, you've got to work harder for the goals. You can make technical mistakes, but if you don't do the basics well and you give the goals away we've given away, you're not going to win any game of football.
Pretty honest assessment, I think, from Dave Challoner. We were obviously here to watch that, and as a former Torquay player and manager, you enjoyed it, albeit from a neutral point of view, I'm sure, but they were far too good, weren't they?
They were, yeah. I mean, Danny Wright, he looks like he's gone on 10 years younger there with his interview. And the opposite could be said for Dave. He could tell he's fuming.
Suffered, yeah.
You know, he's a good manager, so he'll know what to say to the players. But this goal epitomised the start for the home side. It was a massive gap in between the two centre halves. Made the most of it. This is a great goal from Torquay's perspective, but again, not covering quick enough as a centre half. Here, see the danger and get across quickly. He doesn't, and it's a great finish, I have to say, from Danny Wright.
Perfect hat trick, actually.
Perfect. Yeah, left, right, and header. That's all right. Absolutely.
And love that cross, don't you?
Yeah, lovely little dink ball from Ben Whitfield. I mean, talk about go and attack it. This is unbelievable. I think you'd have scored this one, Matt. Well, actually, I'm not sure. But yeah, fantastic hat trick. Deserved hard work, brilliant away performance.
Indeed. Ben Whitfield, assist there, got a goal himself as well, pounced on another defensive error.
He did, yeah. I mean, this is a classic example of do not play across your own 18-yard box. Of course, you know, we want to see progressive football playing through the thirds, but that is just madness. Doesn't read it, the defender. But again, a ruthless finish, anticipates the danger, and a great finish on his left. So a good performance from a really good player.
Icing on the cake, Gary Warren.
Yeah, we both laughed at this when we heard not scored since 2012. But got a great sort of well done from his manager after us for being such a good pro and waiting for his chance.
Torquay obviously going to be a force this season. Is that just a blip for Hartlepool or worse than that?
Well, you'd like to think so. You know, Dave's been around it long enough, been successful at Fyle, got them very close. He's had to do a lot of work behind the scenes to save money, trim the squad, as you have to do, certainly in these times. And it's a really important season for the club. You know, you'd have to say that the players have got to show a reaction after this, because getting beat 5-0 in front of the cameras is not the best. But you have to be resilient, and as you said, rightly said, games come quickly and very, very quickly in this league. So on to the next.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we will indeed do ourselves. 2 more games to bring you, those at Dover and at Yeovil, and Chris Ford's got the details.
Chesterfield weren't faring much better than Yeovil. They'd only won once this season, and the two sides, low on confidence, struggled to create chances in the first 45. After the break, the home side finally decided to have a throw of the dice, but Matthew Warburton's shot barely troubled Kyle Leatherin. At the other end, it was a battle of the Smiths. Jonathan Smith with a fine header that namesake Adam used his hand in glove to tip onto the bar. With 20 minutes to go, the Spyrites finally broke the deadlock. Good strength and persistence from substitute Luke Rawson, who found the in-form Tom Denton. Heaven knows Yeovil are miserable now. That's 6 in 6 for Denton. The rock-bottom side Altrincham travelled to Dover, and it was their 007 Daniel Mooney who created a chance on 10 minutes for Faseo Adebayo to open his account for the Robins. The former Manchester City Academy player couldn't have asked for an easier opportunity to score on just his second start. The Robins made sure of the 3 points thanks to a big save from Tony Thompson late on, as he kept out Adebayo Aziz. The hunt for a win in October is over.
Well, we'll come back to that match in a moment, but Tom Denton, big win for Chesterfield, that's for sure. But we talked about Sam Barrett on 7 goals already this season. Danny Wright, we've seen here, get to 6, and Big Tom's also on 6.
I know. Non-league Crouchy, yeah, seriously effective, no doubt about that. Really aggressive target man, but he can finish.
Yep.
You know, no doubt about it. Great finish there. Not sure about the celebration. But
no.
what a advert for another player that is doing it right. Great professional. 6 goals out of 6, not bad.
Not bad at all. Faseo Adebayo, I hope I've got that right, for Altrincham. That's a big goal. That's a big win for them.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that they were so strong last season at home, which was a major reason why they obviously got promoted ultimately. And you just need it every so often, don't you? You need that vital result, and today felt like, you know, they had to get a result by hook or by crook.
Yeah. Worrying times for Dover, I'd suggest, under Andy Hessenthaler.
Yeah, again, another vastly experienced manager. And I think he's suffered with the amount of players turned around and budget restrictions, etc., etc. you know, only he can sort it out with the players. Sooner the better.
And is that the same for Darren Sarll at Yeovil?
I think, you know,
having a great time with it, are they?
No, they're not. Is it a hangover from last season? I'm not sure. You know, Daz did a fantastic job last season, and they just look like it's perhaps a little bit of a hangover from last season. But I'd expect them to turn it around. You know, he knows what he's doing. He's got a good group of players, so they just need that first win.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a little look at how it stands in the National League's table after around about half a dozen games. Some have played 7, some have played as few as 5, as you can see, but Torquay certainly sitting pretty on 18 points from 7 games played. They are on some run. Stockport still second despite today's defeat, and Sutton obviously with ground to make up, worthy to win the games in hand. And then into the bottom half, we've got teams like obviously Dover, Aldershot among others, some of whom have played fewer games, but important for the likes of Chesterfield that the win obviously propels them away from the danger zone at this early stage. Now then, plenty more football coming your way with FA Cup first round kicking off on Friday between, well, the National League champions from last season, Harrogate Town, sorry, not the champions, the playoff winners, I beg your pardon, and the lowest ranked side left in the cup, Skelmersdale United. That's on Friday from 7:15 on 1. Then Sunday, Eastbourne Borough against Blackpool. That's Swansea Sabre on Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. on 1 for that. And then we're at Oxford City on Monday night for that live action. The Cobblers, Northampton Town, the visitors to Oxford. That's from 7 p.m. on Monday on 1HD. That'll include also the draw for round 2. Chris, I think the all-important Zoom call for Wrexham board, if you like, supporters, the stakeholders that they are at the moment, and a certain Hollywood duo tomorrow night, we understand, to make their case for the takeover.
I think we need to sort of try and get involved with this because, there might be some sort of Hollywood, maybe extra part or something like that for us both.
The film of the takeover of Wrexham featuring in the background.
No, I think
idiots like us.
The fans just want some clarity on it, don't they? And the club need this to the decision to be made so that they can move forward. Either it's done or it's not done. If it is, then fantastic. We don't know the motives.
Actually, Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney, to my knowledge, and we've dug around, I can't see the Wrexham connection.
No.
Maybe that's what they'll explain in the Zoom call.
Potentially.
Potentially. But with media not allowed in on this Zoom call, it's private, which she's probably right.
There's always talk of these things, isn't there? I mean, listening to Hartlepool owner before the game, there was rumours of them approaching this club. But until somebody puts that money on the table and signs a piece of paper, it's all hearsay, isn't it?
I suppose it is, I suppose it is. Listen, it's been very good trip for those from the southwest to the northeast, hasn't it? So enjoy your trip back down to the southwest.
Thank you very much.
Chris Hargreaves, always a pleasure. So, excellent wins for teams that needed it, but Torquay lead the way. Stockport slipped up. Thanks for your company. See you next time.